Good afternoon, you replay people, because I know no one's here yet. Um, so let's see. This is our second day for our Magic Carpet Ride samples, and it is morning. I just want to say that. I feel silly this morning. So I'm just going to chat for a minute and let people come on because, it takes a few minutes. So this is the second day to our 5-day sampling. Um, for you guys in the replay, I'm noticing, I can kind of see, not who, but how many people are coming into the sample vault. Good morning, Jody. Hi, Coco. And I see that people are starting to come into the vault. So, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, in the post right here, there's a bunch of um, links, and one of them says the sample vault. So the sample vault is a part, just a tiny piece of the learning vault for the Magic Carpet Ride program. And if you click on that, you will see there's a few buttons that don't, they're example buttons. They're involved with the program, so unless you're in the program, they can't work. But as you scroll down, there's mind, body, spirit, and manifesting, and a journal button. And all of those work, and you can start exploring the different exercises that are in there. In the actual program, there's about 129 modules, and this is five examples, or four, I think four examples of the modules. So this week, Monday through Friday, we're going to be doing, good morning, Carolyn. We're going to be doing one module each day, excuse me. And you can stay along with me with the modules, but you can also like just explore all the modules any day you want, no matter, it matters what your schedule is and when you have the time. So don't worry about skipping ahead. Good morning, Pat. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Has anyone here been into the modules, and do you have any questions? What did you think of the module yesterday? Um, we did the body module yesterday, and the live is posted for the replay. So if you're here and you're like, what happened yesterday? Just scroll down a little bit and you'll find that. And yesterday, what we were talking about was how we feel about maybe a particular body part and how to shift the vibration around that so that we can kind of love and befriend whatever doesn't make us happy about our body, or if it's uncomfortable. Our brains are a very, 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 very powerful mechanism to speak with our body and make a relationship with our body to heal. We're made to heal. Do you guys know that? I think some of you know that. Um, we're designed to be able to heal ourselves. It's just figuring out, how do we do that? How do we connect with that part of ourselves, right? All right. So, should have brought some. I have like one sip of water here. Today, what we're going to work on is the mind module. Um, the mind module, I think it's called something like, "Are you dining on rotten apples?" You know that old saying, like, one rotten apple will ruin the whole bunch. Well, that can kind of happen with your thoughts, right? You're going all along in your day and you're like, wow, what a wonderful day. I feel great today. And then something happens. Anything, some stranger cuts you off, or some family member says something that triggers you. And then all of a sudden, things don't look so good. And you're having one thought that leads to another thought that leads to another thought. And then you're pigging out on rotten apples, right? Like your your mind went from a good or neutral place to shitty, and then you get stuck. Does that happen to anyone? I know that that's kind of just a rhetorical question, but do you guys know what I'm talking about? One bad apple, right? So what happens when that happens? Like what happens within yourself and your body and your chemistry when that happens? It changes the frequency. It changes your channel, right? Changes your channel. Um, I remember when I was a kid, some of you guys know are gonna know what I'm talking about. We had VHF and UHF, right? Is that right? I think I'm right. You know, the regular channels 10, 12, 6, and then the 56, 68, those channels. And we always wanted to get up and just like it was a whole procedure, right? You had to get up and change the channel. There was no buttons to push or anything like that. Um, that's what it's like when you start feeling crappy and get caught up in your negative um, feelings, is you have to change the channel with intention, and monitoring what's going on takes paying attention. And I think sometimes we have trouble changing the channel because you have to kind of feel what's going on, and you have to kind of understand a little bit of how you're working on the inside to change the situation. So it is like having to get up and change the channel yourself, not just being on autopilot and letting your thoughts have a field day. And it's a frequency. So if you've been hanging out with me for long, you know that I'm all about the frequency. And what I mean by that is it is a literal channel that we're on. You know, are we down in this life track that everything sucks and all of these bad things are happening, and that's what happens when you're dining on the rotten apples? Or are we on a higher frequency, and are we observing what's going on, or maybe just letting something float through? Yeah, that was crappy. That person shouldn't have done that to me, but it happened and I'll just let it go. That's a higher frequency. So are we, how is everybody feeling about what I'm saying? And here's my question to you guys. I want everyone to answer if you can. Do you have control of observing and choosing to get out of the frequency if you are getting stuck on a negative thought? Or do you get stuck and don't know how to get out and have to have a fight or cry or spend a day in bed? Can you share with me, like, where are you at? It's really very nice to observe what other people are going through, because then you don't feel alone. So if you don't mind sharing, how do you get out of dining on your rotten apple thoughts? Yes, Pat. But isn't it a good, I think it's a good point to make that we're all capable of changing our thoughts at any given moment. We can be in the worst case situation. We are still capable of changing our perspective of how we see things. But there's things, right? Good morning, Dawn. There's things that have to come into play. One of the things is to literally see it. Do you guys know the feeling that you're in a bad mood in your it makes me think of PMS, right? Like you're in a bad mood, but you don't really know you're in a bad mood, or you don't care if you're in a bad mood and you're like storming everybody. So maybe you don't even see that you're in a bad mood. The other thing is you get so deep into it that you don't really, you can't be the observer of knowing that you can change it. You don't feel empowered enough to take a deep breath and say, is this serving me? Because us humans, we love to be miserable, don't we? Like, if you know, you, even when you are like me, right? Like, I know that I'm capable of doing this. I do it every day. But sometimes, don't you want to just like swim around in it? Do you know what I mean? Oh, this feels miserable. Oh, it feels miserable to think about this. And oh, that makes me mad. Like, that's that's a feeling. Um, Carolyn says I tend to sink a bit and I need help with this. Yeah. That what is it about being human that we love to be miserable? We love to be angry. We love to have, you know, trouble. And so this module is all about deciding you're kind of done with that. Because any way you look at it, choosing to feel good always feels better than feeling yucky, right? So I'm just hearing this in my head and I'm gonna put this out there. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about this. What if this choosing isn't about changing your chemistry, isn't about having to have things better before you choose to have a better feeling? What if what if it's like going to the gym? What if it's like working a muscle, strengthening a muscle, making a new groove in yourself, and it takes practice. It takes discipline to start to be able to see it, recognize what's going on. And then it takes practice to let me do steps one, two, and three to shift myself into a different reality, a different perspective, right? Isn't that kind of an easier way to look at it? Then, I mean, we go to the doctor and or a therapist and everybody's giving us pills and 10 years of therapy and all of this. And it's ingrained in us. It's part of our programming, right? But what if we start to, exactly, Carolyn, what if we start to just think it's a new thing that you need to learn. It's a new thing to make an intention and to start to recognize your tools. And then what happens? What happens if you do all that? Does anybody want to answer that? If you can understand the steps that you need to take to strengthen that muscle to choose freedom and happiness, what does that do for you? I have a word in my head. Maybe you intuitive people out there can hear it. What does that do for you? How do you feel? If you think about that for a minute, how do you feel if you understand that you have the strength to choose to be happy, to choose to know everything's going to be okay? It's power. Carolyn, I want to say jinx. It's power that your thing came up the same time I said it. I get goosebumps. It's empowerment. It's the power that we have within us to be able to touch it and to feel it and to know it's like those things in your life that you know are bad for you and you have the power to say no. No, I don't want to take that job. No, even though like you're really hot, I don't want to touch you because I know this is a bad idea. No, I'm not going to take that trip. No, I'm not going to go hang out with that friend. That's bad for me. That's the empowerment of being able to say, no, I'm not thinking that thought. No, I'm not going to choose to be sad today because of whatever. And then what magically happens when you start to do this is your reality is going to start to organize itself to give you a happier, more peaceful life because you're saying no to being unhappy or sad or depressed or angry. And this is what we talked about yesterday when we were talking about our body. Um, what you pay attention to is what you get. We live in a reality where like energy attracts like energy. So even though we may spend our day saying, I don't want to be sad, I don't want to be sad. What are you paying attention to? The universe isn't hearing, I don't. What it's hearing, and it's feeling the vibration of sad. So you say all day long, I don't want to be sad. Guess what? You're just saying sad, sad, sad. Like more, give me more of that, because this is what I'm focusing on. So if you choose to not dine on the rotten apples and you choose the happy thoughts, and it's not like you're not acknowledging, like everybody has reasons to feel bad about particular things. And I'm not saying don't feel it, process it, use it, but don't dwell on it, because you're just asking for more of what you don't want. And that's like the most important thing. Like if someone was to come to me and say, what's the absolute most important thing that I need to know to have my best life? I would say exude the energy of what you want to attract. You want money? Go hang out in expensive places. Go see expensive houses. Talk to people who have money. Wake up in the morning and just pretend that that's your reality, that, you know, whatever you need is there. The beach is right out the window. Look out the window and you see the beach. That's the power to create what we want. Okay, what do y'all think about that? All right, so what I want to do, because I'm doing a meditation and a little like imagery each live that we're doing together, we're going to do a little meditation. And what we're going to do is we're going to quiet our mind just for a second, like we're meditating. And then what we're going to do is we're not going to control our mind at all. We're not going to control our mind at all. What we're going to do is just let our mind go crazy. If it wants to worry, hi Casey, if it wants to worry, if it wants to think, if it wants to bring up stuff, just let it do it. We're going to let it do that for maybe 2 minutes. Let your mind go crazy. Don't try to control it. And it might be good, it might not be good, but just let it go. And then what we're going to do is feel what that feels like. We're going to choose something heavy to feel. And then we're going to intentionally choose to feel good. This is a very, very powerful practice. And you can, when we do this, you will feel, when we choose to feel good, you will feel different. And that's what you want to keep coming back to. Keep coming back to it. I want to feel good. And this is what it feels like. It's something else I was going to say that was in my mind while I was talking. Oh, make sure if you want, have a piece of paper or something to write on, because after we're all done with this, we're going to just write a little bit about what all that felt like. And then in the practice vault, and for you guys who are just coming on, there are links in this post. If you're signed up, you should have gotten it in the email too. You don't have to be signed up to be here. But if you click on the link that's called the Magic Carpet Ride sample, if you go in there, in each module, there's a button that says journal. It's just an online journal app. And so when you're doing the modules, if you want to, you can use that app. You just need to create a, what do you call it? An account. Doesn't cost anything, but it's a nice, it's a nice little journal app, and it's really convenient in the vault. Okay, so let's just get into our meditation. You guys who are just coming on, we're just going to do a little meditation. First, we're going to be quiet. Second, we're going to let our mind go a little bit crazy with any worry thoughts that we may have. We're going to feel that, and then we're going to choose some good feeling thoughts and feel that. All right. Good morning, Carol. Nice to see you here. All right. So let's just close our eyes. And let's just take a moment to be with ourselves. So if you've already had a busy morning, or if you're just getting up, just clear the thoughts in your mind and take a nice deep breath and let it out very slowly. And while you're taking a few deep breaths, I want you to imagine that you're just quieting everything around you and you're bringing in anything any energy that you've been giving away, especially if you're a caregiver, like so many of us are, or if you take care of people, or if you worry about people, just bring everything back. Like you are a magnet and all your energy is little metal filings that you're just pulling back and pulling back and pulling back. Right this moment, you don't need to share your energy with someone. You're just going to be with yourself. And then taking 2 more slow, very deep and complete breaths. Filling your body with oxygen, filling your body with energy and light. And then on your exhale, just imagining that from the top of your head all the way down to where you're seated, that the tension that you may be holding is just rolling down your body. You're relaxing your face, you're relaxing your shoulders, you're relaxing your lower back. Just releasing and releasing any tension. And then just saying to yourself, in this moment, I choose to be only with me. Only with me. And then we're just going to go right into a quiet meditation. So if you can allow your mind, just ask it to be at peace just for a minute or two. You can focus on your breath. That will help you stay quiet. If something pops into your mind, just don't grab onto it. Just think about yourself, taking your breaths in and letting your breaths out. Taking your breaths in, keeping your mind quiet. And then the next part, I want you to ask yourself, what's bothering me right now? What am I feeling a little nervous about? What did I think about yesterday that maybe was bothering me? We're not going to go too deep in this because I don't want you to stay there. But what I want you to do, once you've found something that was maybe bothering you, I want you to just feel it. Let the feelings come up around it. It may be feelings of anger or sadness or worry. Just let that kind of permeate your body a little bit. It's a feeling, right? It's a feeling. Let yourself feel it. It's good to feel your feelings. Okay. Now just take note in your mind. What does this feel like? You can focus in a little bit about this feeling that you're having, whatever this like heavy feeling you're having. Where is it in your body? Can you Move your mind into your body and feel that feeling, and then ask your body, like, where does this feeling live within my body? Where do I feel it the most? You might feel a tightness around your throat, or a little lump in your stomach, or your lower back might tighten up. And if you're getting in touch with where that is, just as a little extra practice, I want you to, wherever that is in your body, just for a moment, almost imagine that you can put your hands within your body and just tell it you love it. Send it some love. Tell it it's okay. Just completely encapsulate that area with love. And this is something to kind of remember when you're done with this meditation. If you're feeling it in your body at some particular place, that's something that you can address later. All right, so we're going to let that all go. And now what we're going to do, I want you to think about the best moment of your life, the best moment. And I don't mean like childbirth where like you had all the pain. Maybe the moment that you held your child for the first time or something like that. But it can also be like a really freaking awesome motorcycle ride you took. Um, I want you to think about a moment that you had in time that felt so good. You were happy. You were at peace. You weren't worrying. You were in the moment. Visualize that moment and feel what it felt like to be there. Let yourself have that feeling. Let yourself feel what it felt like to be in that moment. Go through the moment. Let that rush of good feelings run through your body. You can even take that good feeling you're feeling and put it where the other not so good feeling was in your body. You can put that good feeling wherever in your body that yesterday when we were focusing on what part of your body weren't you happy with. Put that good feeling in that space in your body. And let that feeling grow and grow. It might even create goosebumps. It might make you smile. It might make your heart feel a little bit bigger and looser and more comfortable. We're choosing to feel good right now. We're choosing to feel happy. We're choosing to feel at peace. We're choosing to know in this moment everything is perfect. Say that to yourself. I'm choosing this feeling. Choosing this feeling. This feeling feels really good. This feeling is a feeling that I want to feel more often. And then right before we come back out of this, if you want to, you can make an intention to remember this feeling and use it. You can make an intention to become really good friends with this feeling, that you want to hang out more. Okay. All right. So when you're ready, take one more deep breath and you can open your eyes. And you can take any notes if you want to remember anything that may have happened in the meditation, maybe how good that good feeling felt, maybe the place in your body that you felt with the heavy emotions. And I'd love to hear, how did it go? How did that feel? Or even, what was your good feeling? Like, was it happiness? Was it peace? So this was an example of the frequency of what it feels like to either be feeling choosing a happy, good thought or dining on rotten thoughts, right? Now, a side note, I'm someone who strives gently. I know strives is kind of a like big word, but strives to, wow, it just like that's crazy. It just like went right out of my head, that thought. It was like it hijacked right out of my, I guess strives wasn't the right word. I guess I shouldn't. Oh, I know what I was going to say, but that's so funny. So, I had someone, geez, my writing utensils so I don't forget duplicity. I'm going to talk about duplicity for a second, but what that just, made me think of is last night we had a roundtable event, which we will be having another one on Monday, and the link is in this post. We did a big mind trip. That's a free event for you guys if you want to come and experience a mind trip. That's a big part of the Magic Copyright program. And someone mentioned that she had been meditating twice yesterday, once in the morning by herself and once with us at the round table. And both times she fell asleep. She even said she almost fell off of her chair because she fell asleep meditating. And she said, is that normal? Like, why does that keep happening? So when we are trying to work on changing something in our life and we're setting new patterns, we're letting go of old mindsets, we're um, creating a new groove, but we're so used to operating in one position, right? Like when our muscles are weak around an idea and we're used to our default, our body and mind will put us to sleep or will it's like a shut off valve. And that's what just happened for some reason. I don't know if it's because I felt like when I used the word strive, it kind of set something off. So striving is not good. Um, but it's like your thoughts get hijacked. Have you guys ever had that experience of either falling asleep during meditation, when you're trying to do a particular thing, or it happens to me when I'm working with clients sometimes. It's just like a thing comes down and you completely are blanked out. So that's just a side note. But what I was going to say is I work on not living in duplicity. So duplicity is that separation. Good, bad. I think this is good. I think this is bad. Society thinks this is good. Society thinks this is bad. This has a label. It's good. That you know what I mean, right? Our whole life, it's a whole program of this is good. This is bad. And if you talk to people, and many people have many different ideas about the same thing of whether it's good and bad. Um, so when we're talking about good thoughts and bad thoughts, there's no such thing, but there is a difference in the frequency. So that's a thing to remember. So when you're thinking, if you're sad or you're mad or whatever it may be, definitely dive right into those feelings. Explore them, but do it with intention. Don't fall asleep and just decide like, well, I'm having a bad day today. This day sucks. So like, I'm just going to sit here in it and then like blindly go through your day. Use it. Be curious about it. Why am I triggered? Why do I feel this way? Because that's the duplicity because we have does everybody know what I'm talking about? That whole big list inside of us that this is good, this is bad, this is happening, this is bad, so I feel bad. This is happening. Oh, this is a good thing, so I'm going to feel good. Right? Like what the hell? We're so programmed to like react to the duplicity. And when we're beyond this like human form, when we're beyond this level of earth, duplicity is not, there's levels of duplicity, I think, but duplicity is not a thing. That's an earth thing. That's a human thing. And being able to kind of rise above the duplicity and just not react to good or bad, but just what is very helpful. Okay, I'm gonna just read what you guys said. Pat felt peace. Carolyn went very well. Carol, just as you mentioned childbirth, I envisioned holding my son for the first time. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much that matches that expansion of your being when that first time that you get to hold your children. Awesome. All right. So, um, if you go to the top of this post, there's that link. There's a bunch of links, but there's one link that says getting into the sample vault. If you click on that, save the link. Um, if you scroll to the bottom, there's mind, body, spirit, manifesting buttons, and there's modules within each one of those. We did body yesterday, we are doing mind today, and tomorrow we'll do manifesting. Um, just, check them out, read them, do the exercises. If you have any questions, please feel free to either ask them here or you can message me. And yeah. All right. So the other links that are above is next week. There are going to be a whole another string of that's not even a word, a whole other, a whole other string of lives, but it will be a repeat of this week. But you're welcome to come back. And if you have worked with me, nothing's ever the same. So next week there will be the same subject, but it's going to sound a little bit different. And there will be another Magic Carpet Ride. Round table, there was one last night, and there will be another one Monday. There's links for all of that to join. Everything is free. And the Magic Carpet Ride, it's a community gathering, and we do a nice big mind trip around a particular subject. So sign up for all of that stuff if you're enjoying this. The other thing, I think there's a link for this too. So the Magic Carpet Ride program, which is what all of this is all about, is a 6-month program. It's starting at the end of the month. That's why I'm out here, like my face is here every day, because I want to get everybody signed up that's interested in the Magic Carpet Ride program. So, and for the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about it. So if you know all about the Magic Carpet Ride, you can stay and listen to it again, or if you want to listen to it now and learn about it, just stick around. I'm not going to talk for long, but I'm so excited about my program, and it's something that's been in my head for about 20 years. And about a year ago, it started like molding into something that I could actually put my hands on and bring into the physical reality. So it's a 6-month program. It's a group coaching container. So we have 2 group coaching calls a week. Plus you get 6 one-on-ones, one for each month of the program. You get a Reiki Master certificate. This all through the whole program. My Reiki program, anybody would probably say this about their own program, but I think it kicks ass. It's very original. And it's all about understanding the energy that's around us and available to us to heal ourselves and others. And with Reiki and with the Magic Opera program, the whole idea is to be able to find and utilize all of your gifts on demand. So we dive deep into our self work and what's in the way of being able to access that. And then there's all kinds of tools with the Magic Carpet mind trips to be able to go into the non-physical and use everything. All of the stuff that you use in your physical world in the non-physical. So you can talk to your loved ones on the other side. There is, a mediumship element to it for other people if you want to hold space and learn how to do that for other people. Finding your guides, finding the answers, that you would, come to someone like me to say, like, what am I going to do when I grow up? I get that question a lot. This gives you the opportunity to be able to answer your own questions. And that's my goal, is to help others take care of themselves in the big way, to understand like why are we here, and how can we make it better, and how can we create our lives. There's 26 modules of manifesting exercises. Um, so yeah. So if you're interested in learning more, reach out to me. And I think there's also a link. There's a lot of links up there. I think there's also a link to meet with me, or just reach out and say, hey, I'm interested in the program, and we can sit and talk about it, and I can show you the vault and show you all the stuff that goes into it. And so at the end, you get a Magic Hopper Ride Facilitator certificate and a Reiki Master certificate. The Reiki stuff is really cool too, because every week we have Reiki healing circles, so you can come and practice Reiki. Everything's online, so it's all long distance, but you get to practice, you get to receive, you get to understand the energy better and better, how to do body scans, how to read other people's energy, how to read your own energy. And this is really cool. The last Friday of the month, we do an animal healing circle. And next Friday would be when our once a month thing is for animals. And I'm going to hold it at a barn, a rescue barn for horses. So if you were in the program, or if you just want to come and be the observer or receive, you can sign up for next Friday and, just hang out with the horses that need some love. And if you're in the program, or if you're in the Reiki program, you get to practice. So Shauna, I'm announcing that today in our group. Next Friday, I'm going to be at a barn so that you guys can practice reading horses, if that's something that sounds good to you. So I'm really excited. We have a lot of stuff going on. If you have any questions, please reach out. I am going to be reaching out to everybody to just say hello if you're not in the program already, to see if, how you're feeling about it and if you're curious about it. Hang out with horses, yes. I know. I'm going Thursday. Another thing that's going on, but this is in person for me, is I'm working with a barn. They do, it's called Liberty Horsemanship. I've never heard of it before, but this woman, I guess she's not alive anymore, but who created it, was an observer of herds of horses, and how they treat each other, and how they navigate their life, and how they signal to each other. And then, so Liberty Horsemanship is about being part of the herd yourself, and having that mutual respect. And think about it, you guys, while you're working with your energy, right? Because we're talking about frequency and all the things that go along with that. When you're working with horses, any animal really, because I've done this with dogs to like help people with dogs too, to be like the alpha. But when you're working with horses, if you're doing this particular thing, you have to adjust your energy to be in their presence, to get certain things achieved. So it's a really amazing way, and this is part of what I'm going to be teaching, a really amazing way to master control of your energy and your frequency, right? And then the added benefit is, to have that relationship with the horse. So that's something. Thursday, I'm actually meeting with someone who owns the barn, or owns the horses at the barn, to start this program too. So lots of stuff going on. Shauna, I did too. I actually grew up with, I think we had like 17 horses at one time. My mom was a collector. She was a collector of horses, and we always had a very eclectic. We had ponies and horses and wayward souls who'd been abused, or like Arabian horses that my mom would, buy for big dollars. So it was like, um, I don't know, it was cool. When I get off later on, I'll post a picture. I have a couple pictures of my mom when she was younger. Um, on my favorite horse Flash, but he was young at the time, and she's like rearing up on his back. It's awesome. Shauna, that's awesome. Yeah, we had similar childhoods in that perspective. It's awesome. It's magical, right? Like, I don't know. I've been going about once a week, and the I did work. I worked with like all the horses that were there, did readings and stuff. And one of them was sick, and I was doing readings for him, and I was there for about 2 hours. And at the end, she said, "What can I give you in return? This is amazing." She cried just about the whole time we were there. And I said, "I don't." It was truly like I didn't want anything because I had already gotten what I needed. I said the only all you can give me, like all I want is just to stand in the middle of this pasture with these magical animals. That's all. Like just like I'm gonna bring my tent and I'm just gonna live here. I didn't need anything beyond the grace and the magic of hanging out with them. It was beautiful. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out. And if you're interested in the magic carpet, just reach out to me and we'll talk about it. It's amazing. Carol, I lived on a horse ranch in Cali. Then years later, I developed an allergy. Oh no. Hold on, Carol. Let me look in my head about that. The first thing that comes to mind, Carol, around that is, have you been to more than one place that you were allergic? Do you know what I mean? Like was it a situation or one particular barn, or has it been a bunch of different places that you've experienced the same thing? Dawn, you're welcome. Um, okay. It's interesting. I do see like or hear the word dander, like to tell you the truth, I always do this if I'm doing a reading and this is where it's coming from. This piece of hair is driving me crazy. Um, I don't know if I'm coming from a place of like my mind or my intuition, but what it does feel like is it may help you to kind of desensitize yourself, um, like have tiny experiences over and over to see if it would dissipate. Um, our minds are powerful, right? Like, I'm not saying that we don't experience allergies and we don't experience allergies that we didn't have in childhood or whatever, and then they come. But there is a very strong thing that happens that if we're allergic to something once, then we start to worry, well, is this going to happen again? And then if it happens a little bit the next time, then we create, this situation that this is our reality forever and ever. So I would suggest, just if you can, expose yourself just a little bit and a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, and maybe use some intentions with like your intention is to create a harmony with the horse, because that's it feels, it's funny, I've never talked about like allergy type things like this, but it almost feels like there's a disharmony. And there is also something, I don't know if there's something that you're feeling that it almost feels like, I don't know if it's like a childhood memory or a trigger or something that happened maybe in association with them, or if there's someone in your life that discouraged you or something like that. I don't know. And Carol, I don't think that we've met before. If you want, I offer like free 15-minute readings. If you're interested, yeah, Shauna, it does. It feels like a trigger. It feels like there's something that happened, um, and it's kind of grown to something bigger. So Carol, I'll message you, and if you want, I don't think we've ever met. If you want, um, we can do a tiny bit of a reading. Um, all right, you guys, I'm gonna go. This was awesome. I will see you tomorrow morning, same time. We're going to talk about the manifesting module, and just look up in all the links above and see like what works for you. What do you want to explore? Um, and if you have any questions, just reach out to me. All right. It's been a pleasure and an honor. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.